All right, welcome. I am Pato, and with me, you can see his beautiful face there up in the top left corner. It's going to be Decepticle playing his Vitruvian in round 2 here versus Fettness. So you can see that slick card hider there. So it's going to be like all surprise here, except for that opening mulligan. And so, I mean, you're going to have the best insight here into what you're thinking throughout this game. So I'll kind of let you drive a little bit on this one. So opening round, like, you obviously don't see your card. Like, we can see you hover over some cards, but so what is your usual stance here when you're playing against an Abyssian player?
Well, typically I am going to try and keep away from most of his minions in case he wants to drop things like Dark Seeds or whatever. As you can see, watching myself is amusing because I was pretty nervous. This was my very first round of the tournament, and I had the jitters. So he dropped the Bloom Chaser. I think I have an Ankh in my hand. I'm feeling pretty confident after that, but I'm not sure. Even the shield is defeating me at this point.
Well, I mean, would you have rather, like, did you feel like you were more nervous because you, like, missed a round, like you had to wait? Or do you feel like would you have rather dove in, or?
Just for, like, the, being able to stare at the brackets and seeing some update and some not, there was just so much uncertainty to it that I just got nervous and got in my own head. I've only played Fettness a few times on the ladder. He's one of the newer players. Seeing a Sarlacc right off the bat, I don't think I have a Dispel, so I think that guy gets to bounce around for a little while. Oh yeah, Fettness forgets to end his turn.
Hey,
yeah,
man, he's nervous too, man. He's nervous too, man. He forgot that there's even an end of the turn. There's that RNG, but still, your Dervis is going to be able to pretty much go wherever it wants to trade besides on that Wraithling. And you're walking in, man. You're just like, screw what I said earlier about staying away from the minions. I'm going ham. We're doing this.
Definitely. And then, do I hit Sarlacc? Yeah, I was afraid of hitting Sarlacc because it might have stole one of the mana globes. So yeah, I Kodo.
So you're gonna trade it out here. Sarlacc's gonna go in the same exact place.
Which I didn't know he could do that. Yeah, I could. What?
Did I kill him, or what happened there? Oh, and another Ethereal Obelisk. So this is actually pretty good because besides Ephemeral Shroud, like, the only main tools that Abyssian has to deal with these is, like, you know, either they're big removals we have to sacrifice something to remove it, or they have Lasso. So they do have answers, but unless they're running Ephemeral, they don't have actually in-faction built Silence. So it's actually a pretty decent play against them. I mean, and having them use Lassos early is actually pretty good for you, considering there's a lot of other minions you're going to want to get up close and personal with them.
Definitely. And even if your Obelisk get lassoed, one of the nice things you can generally do is Dunecaster the Ephemeral, and then he gets to stick around, and you have this looming 4/4. So he's gonna try and punch around my Obelisk since the damage is free.
Yeah, Sarlacc the Eternal, like, for those who don't know, he's a minion that also gets to resurrect every time you kill him. So you saw him right there, resurrect. So he's great for Abyssian because they run a lot of Death Watch. When creatures die, like, you gain some effect, and so he's just like the eternal Death Watch guy. And actually, a little seen thing right there is actually Horde of the Forsaken, which actually most of the times is actually not that efficient because when you're swinging, you lose a durability. So you're getting a couple Wraithings out of it, which is good, but it's not the best thing in the world. But right there, you got it. He basically got it for free since he's hitting your Obelisk. So pretty good value for him there with that card.
Definitely. And now I'm debating. Yeah, I have the Rashes in my hand. Trying to figure out how to spend the most amount of my cores and be able to take care of this assassin. Doing it this way, I was able to get the Forger out, which made Rashes cheaper, and then now I still have the ability to play the Dunecaster. So I played 3 cards instead of 2. I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and that's the power of the Mana Forger, man, making the dream work, and especially right there, that's a huge play for you. And great board right now. So now they have he has the 1/1. You're able to get the other part too is you're able to get a hit on his general now and remove his basically Horde of the Forsaken. So pretty solid. Actually, never mind. You actually used Rash's Curse, so you already took care of that. So that's the beauty of Rash's Curse, right? I mean, bonus when you get the artifact, but even just being able to put a 2/2 rush dude next to their general is pretty strong for the cost.
Definitely. I can't wait till I feel like Rash's Curse is in need of a spell animation, and it's funny because when you cast it, it makes like a break glass in case of sound effect.
Yeah, exactly, right. But this Sarlacc is awesome because he's like normally like you'll get like the random hit and the Sarlacc will appear like in the corner and you're like, ah well. And then here's another beautiful use of Sarlacc right there. You get the Darkfire Sacrifice, so he's just gonna come back somewhere on the map. Let's see if he sticks around. Oh, I mean he's within range. And a Vorpal Reaver. So what's your best case scenario for dealing with these guys? Because I assume you don't use the kill an enemy next to your general card, correct? Entropic Decay, I think.
Run Entropy.
Yeah.
I am definitely hoping for Siphon. Don't remember having a bunch of Wraithlings appear everywhere. Pretty sure I Siphon and smash him down.
Yeah, because you do. I mean, you do have the damage on the board. Lucky for you, also there's no creep on the board, so that 1/1's not. I mean, not gonna be a 3/3 or anything bigger for you to deal with. So yeah, you do have Siphon. You do have damage just to trade out, so that's actually really good for you because getting 6 Wraithlings spread around the board's not the kind of board you want to deal with. Especially as we talked about earlier, Vitruvian doesn't have that many ways to get like a mass Wraithling swarm off the board, right?
Most certainly.
So Sarlacc is gonna choose a new location. Nothing better to do. Oh, he's behind the obelisk.
Yeah, he got closer to my my Mana Forger, and I went, oh crap.
He's like, I'm gonna take a step away. So the good thing to note about the actual setup formation you had right there is actually one of the good formations if you're playing as a Magmar player and you're expecting Makator, because in that formation he can only ever get 2 targets out of it, so he wouldn't be able to like really box you up. So not in this matchup now, but it is like a good just general formation to have. And now he has a lot of choices. He could get a point of damage on your Mana Forger up top, but he can't really actually kill anything. So we'll see actually what he does with his 6 core now, and it's going to Reaper of the 9 Moons. So now the bonus is I don't think you don't have anything super powerful in your deck that he could pull out of here with that, does he?
I do not, and what's funny is I slightly BM him a little bit because whenever I see Reaper of 9 Moons, I just want to know what it's going to turn into. So I delay the kill so that I take out the Reaper first before I kill him. Which I felt bad about, and I apologized to him after the round, and he didn't take offense to it, but it's just that, like...
It's like inquiring minds want to know, man. So I'm interested to see what else you play this turn. You'd have the Coil Crawler take the long way around, get up top there. Oh,
Maelstrom.
That's actually pretty awesome. Yeah, the face says it all, right?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Oh, and a Dunecaster. That's brutal. That's an amazing turn with 2 Mana Forger outs. Like, that's pretty dream right there. So I assume this next turn it's probably. I assume you have Second Wish in hand, and this is going to be a wrap here. Probably. That's just my guess. But it's looking very... Yeah, there's Wish right away. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. But yeah, I mean, that's the power of having Mana Forgers on the board. I mean, you wouldn't be able to do that combo like that typically. I mean, still a good card, just raw, but being able to cast it for 3 is pretty awesome. Or is it 6? Is it 6 base or 5?
It's 6, but I had a Forger in play when I cast it.
Yeah.
I
So
drop him to 2, and then I turn around and I kill the Reaper.
what's it gonna be? No whammy, coil.
Brawler.
Yeah. So I mean, still cool, but yeah, against a Vitruvian deck, there's not a lot like I would think I'd pull out that I'd be like, yes, like maybe, like the only thing that I can think of is like maybe like he pulls out like your Artifact Hunter or something, or he pulls out like maybe a Cyrix if you played that or something. I don't know, like.
Yeah, certainly. Oh man, a Reaper turning into an Artifact Hunter. That would be pretty sick.
That'd be pretty legit. Hummingbird's Dance. Do you wanna tell us what the origin of Hummingbird's Dance as a deck name is?
So, on my music playlist, I had started listening to Smile Empty Soul again, and they have a recent song called False Alarm, and I was laughing at the fact that although they are listed as post-grunge, one of the lines in the song is when the hummingbirds dance, which just sounds so out of place in what is more like grunge emo style music. So I thought, well, what the hell? I couldn't think of a better name for my deck. Amusingly, my shield here, you can see Orb Weaver.
Yeah, the one. Hey, he's bored. He's throwing the ball up in the air. He's trying to keep himself busy. So early Mana Forger, there's not much you can pretty much do about him. Obviously, you can ping him here. Unless you have double Bone Swarm.
I'm actually able to play a guy into Kodo.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And I get the other mana as well.
Yeah, that's a legit turn right there because you're able to dump a lot of cards out of your hand. In the process, now you have pretty good board here. 2/2s. There's the hey, Abyssian. It's all free game to use your own emoticon. I have nothing against that.
I could not have been happier that Vitruvian was the WTF face.
Yeah, exactly, right. So Sarlacc.
It's really great too because Vitruvian's general. I always thought he had a mask on. Apparently, that is his mouth, and that he's more of like a robot with a jaw.
Yeah, just a very, very awesome jaw, right?
Yeah, definitely. So seeing the like cartoon caricature really looks excellent on him, and I like it a lot. Yes. Plays another Forger. I Bone Swarm him again.
Yeah, the main thing I like to point out too is like Mana Forgers make all those Vitruvian spells that are like pay 3 and reduce the creature cost by 3 even more effective, right? Because like now it's like your Bone Swarm is free, and now your next main costs 1 less. Like that actually becomes like really big value, especially later on. Especially if you're playing like Inner Oasis, you Inner Oasis for 2, you gain another mana essentially for your next creature. Like becomes very, very big for the faction if you're able to keep Mana Forgers out.
A really ugly turn 2 play right now, or we'll go second, I should say, not turn 2, is walk up, drop Mana Forger, cast Oasis, and then drop Orb Weaver, and your Mana Forger is a 1/5.
Yeah.
Gross.
That guy's staying alive, man.
And if you like played a Kodo or a Planner Scout beforehand, they did the health too.
Yeah, that's pretty good, beefy, like little minions out there. Become more like pylon pillars essentially to spawn stuff out of. So he's gonna shift things around a little bit, get Sarlacc in there to kill himself and do the death dance. We'll see if he actually has. I mean, the thing is, in a lot of these games, I actually haven't seen him pull out any Death Watch units, so it's kind of like the sad part of like these Sarlaccs that were out there for so long, but nothing with Death Watch was able to ever to really come out there. So Night Star Assassin gonna come out. I assume gonna trade with your big dude up there.
Yeah, taking out my buffed guy for good value. Brings down my caster.
Behind the Mana Forger. like, dude, the Sarlacc is like, his Sarlaccs have been more like rogues this game. Like, they're always like appearing like behind the enemy.
Yeah, Sarlacc really does not like my Mana Forgers in this matchup. So I need to try and oh yeah, I think I'm trying to figure out. Oh yeah, I took away his attack, so he can't
that is actually one of the best like gimpings of him I've seen, besides like just straight up. Oh hey, fear the Mana Forger, man. This is his time to rise.
Yeah, and it keeps him alive. So it's got a nice dual purpose when you use him as one of the targets. Like he's not in range, and I don't. Oh, do I? Oh, I guess I did.
Hey, you're going in, man. You got him at 5. I think you're feeling it. I think you're feeling it at this point. I mean, you got him on the ropes. So he dips down. You also have your Obelisk out there. So he's still not like completely dead here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they can do to. I mean, like the Abyssinian player can do to get out of this or deal damage or come back. Spectral Blade is one way to get the heck out of dodge. So it looks like he's going to grab that, go to the back of the board, and use Sarlacc as a defensive wall a little bit here. And the good news is too is that unless you have another way to, I mean, I guess you could walk forward and get rid of Sarlacc the Eternal and get in a hit with your Mana Forger right now, but otherwise that's not lethal, so he's still a little bit okay here.
Yeah, he actually kites me for a little while. I draw really aggressively hunting for Rashes, which I don't get very quickly. And so I give chase trying to deal with all these little guys.
I have to say too that like that's actually a pretty good spawn for the way he spawned his minion with the Gloom Chaser to stop your kind of celerity Mana Forger from being able to run down your opponent here. So what do you typically do against an enemy like this? Like you can see like you're starting to set up kind of minions here in multiple locations. Like what's your way to track down, like without Rashas, like how do you track down a flying sword Abyssinian player?
Well, that's what I'm doing is I'm placing units that can move within 2. So my Dunecaster is there, that Obelisk is down on the lower left, and the Mana Forger is lower right. So he doesn't really have a safe escape route. I think he kills my Mana Forger and then runs to the bottom right. I think that's where this game ends up.
Still nothing safe here for, because like you actually have a nice setup here, because like the back half of your board like is going to be spawning minions. You got minions there. He's already down to 4. Any trading of health for him is not great. Also, it puts damage on his sword. So like, and that's like his really only mobility chance to survive out here. He's only at 6 core too. So like you've been able to deal a lot of damage to him very early. So him being on the ropes means like it's very hard for him to stall out and then transition to any sort of like big like shadow creep, like Shadow Nova like end game play or anything like that. Here he's very much hurting. So what would, like, if in this scenario, like, what would you be, like, if you played, like, what would you actually be worried about if you played it right now? Like, what's probably, like, the worst case scenario for you in this situation? Because it looks like it's pretty in hand, but, like, there has to be something that at least is, like, you're like, oh, damn. Like,
luring away. Oh, yeah, Shadow Dancer is never a good time.
Curse of Agony.
Curse of Agony.
Oh, she's going to just go to 1 health right here.
1. Oh, yeah.
Oh. Because, I mean, he's really in, like, go for broke mode. I mean, that's what this is right now, right? Like, if you have Second Wish, you're going to run him down and kill him anyways. You have a good spread. So he's banking on the fact it's like, hey, got to find a way that you can't reach me. He's already saying, well played. And there's the Rasha's Curse. It looks like you find it here. Yeah, and that is going to be the end of the game to run him down. But, all things said for how bad of a situation it is, like, he at least put a threat on the board, because at that point, like, if you're not able to reach him that turn, then he really does have some plays, because you have to answer his 5-4, but Shadow Answer. But hey, all in all, good game for you, round 2, and you'll be moving on. Like, we'll be casting more of your games here in the near future.
Yeah, thanks. Good stuff.